Hi, it's me. It's Angie from Learn Love Tarot. How are you all today? So, before we fully go into the next lunar cycle with our cool little roller coaster metaphor, my table is clear to set up for the next one. I did not want to leave that energy. This is going to be hanging around for a couple weeks. So I wanted to take the opportunity to actually talk more about this card and the powerful energies of it, because this last full moon with the Cardinal Grand Cross energies are going to be around for about another 10 days or so. And I have an arts and crafts project for you in the description box below. I show you how you can label just a square sticky note to understand what life areas these will be happening for you. If you do not have a physical hand chart drawn by me, you just have a regular paper chart, that's fine. For the scale, it should do the job, or maybe you might need a smaller sticky note depending on how big your printed chart is. If you have a computer screen and you know how to pull that up, you can use astro-.com, astro-seek.com. And if you know your birth time, then you're able to type that in and pull it up on the computer screen. And then you can stick your sticky note to the computer screen. So again, the arts and crafts little section here for your sticky note is in the description box if you want to take a screenshot of that just for the topic today, and you can go back later. That is fine. Well, hello. Hi there. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in. Yay. Now we got a party. Love it. Love it. So, guys, we're going to dive into this Portal Keeper card because for the next 10 days or so, we're still going to be having the effects of that Cardinal Grand Cross hanging around here. So that's going to show you the 4 points in your chart where the squares demand change. Okay. And those are the points at which we, on the plus side, can achieve greatness. And on the not so plus side, we're not going to say negative because we don't want to use the word. On the shadow side, we shall say, that's going to cause some tension and extremes. And I'm going to show you a way to find out what life area that's in for you in just a second. But I wanted to dive a little bit more into this energy because it does, for me anyway, relate to the tree of life, the root of many things. Marcia, in her section of our live on Friday, showed the tree of life as part of her presentation. And for me, that represents the 10 of Pentacles, the pinnacle of Pentacles. Okay. So if you're here, you're a light sharer, a light seeker, and you'll be helping others, perhaps even if you don't know it yet. There's your little tidbit. You will be. So this is all about 50. So that is a 5 of change / growth. Okay, / growth. And it is about unique gateways to mystical experiences, psychic abilities, raising your vibration, expanded consciousness, the Akashic records, past life ties, exploring the edges of reality for significant messages, seeing between the lines, and multidimensional awareness. Okay, so as we become more sensitive, I was talking about this in yoga today, which is why I look a hot mess express. So please forgive me. But as we're becoming more aware, and if you are an empath energy, it's a little less than 20% of the population. You're not oversensitive. It's about you are, but emotionally, it's you just can't stand. It's like someone has turned up the amps in the room when you're around other people, and whatever their energies are. You are feeling that for good and for bad. And if you don't know what's happening to you, you could just be like, oh, I don't like to go out. I just like to stay home and not know why. It's because you're absorbing those energies. If it's a fun party and it's a good time, you're going to be amped up, right? But it also might be a little overwhelming. You might have to step out and just, take some 5-minute breaks. If it's noisy, that can be overstimulating. So just know that there's not anything wrong with you. It's a gift. And especially if that gift is just starting to open up for you, you're going to feel sensitive and you're going to even feel sound louder than you ever have before. And I'm hard of hearing. So for me to even hear that amp turned up, it doesn't matter there. And it's just like sometimes so bad you just have to get out, even if you're having a good time. I don't know if you've ever experienced that yet, but I would say if you're here, there's a high probability that you have. And you may be getting some upgrades here with this portal energy. I've been talking about jumping timelines for a couple weeks now. Um, and we're understanding that there's more than just this or that. There's varying degrees of this and that. Okay. So let me jump to this is a pretty long one. So I wanted to jump to the divinatory meaning that guides us to gently explore the edges of our reality. Spend time in the forest to listen. That's also going to ground and calm your energy. Literally taking your socks off and putting your feet on the grass. Um, Listen and deepen your meditation practice. Dance yourself into ecstasy, one of my favorites. Explore psychic tools and study new healing modalities. If you feel lacking in purpose or life seems a little mundane, remember that there is never a reason to be bored. What we experience with our physical senses is just the tip of the iceberg. Magic exists where we care to find it. Look between the lines to limitless discovery. Okay. And this is the environmental energy at our full moon that we predicted now 3 Fridays ago. This beautiful internal explorer. And I don't know why, but I think she looks like beautiful Lizzo. I think she's gorgeous and she's stepping through, right? It's no longer 1 foot in, 1 foot out. The coaster has started coming down towards the new moon. Okay. And y'all are in the front seat. You got the first look. You feel things before others feel them. Does that make sense? Right. Like you just have, it's a knowingness, and that can be, there's all different kinds of clairs. MJ talks about it a lot. The internal explorer was a 32. So we had a double five of change there. And indeed, that lovely cardinal grand cross energy with the Aries full moon amplifying it is we're feeling some kind of way. So now how to figure out, like I said, I left the arts and crafts picture in the description box below if you want to screenshot that so you can use that as you're listening. But basically, you can see here, I just use a standard cross. Okay. So, and then these tips, see the pink dashes are forming a square, and you can just copy that on any sticky note. And it helps if you put the actual planets where they were at that full moon. Those are there for you with the degrees. Now, what we're going to do with this is you're either blowing it up on your phone or you have your paper chart here, maybe one I've created for you, or you have one already printed out. You are going to start with your Aries point, the red. If you have it done by me, all your fire is orange in your chart, all your fire signs. Go all the way around, find where your Aries is, find where that line starts or that color coding. You're going to take that Aries corner and middle of the X and middle of your circle here, and just kind of turn it and line it up right where that orange part starts to color in on your wheel. Okay, so for this person here, I have her name covered up. For this person, you can see where those 4 points, then where those pink dotted lines will be. Now, those are the areas of your chart where you're going to experience this intensity. So for this person, those points of Aries of Cancer and of Capricorn and of Libra, all the cardinal signs. There's those 4 points where they end up pointing in your chart wheel. That's the life areas that are going to be the most affected by these changes. So in this particular chart, that starts in her 8th and 11th house. Okay, so your 8th house is going to be your house of secrets, your house of deep exploration, shared resources, chunky money, pennies from heaven, that kind of thing. 11th house is going to be a big change in community, friends, good fortune. So those two kind of, free money houses there, just getting lucky. And then the bottom corners of her square here, of her grand square, would be 2nd house and 5th house. So the 2nd house is about how we earn our money, our self-esteem, our assets, our self-worth. And then in the 5th house, woohoo, that's a spicy one. That's going to be creativity, romance, and pleasure. So then you can use your own little arts and crafts sticky note there to turn the Aries and just find those 4 corners so that you can see what life areas that's going to be in for you. That'll be different for everyone. So that's your little mini lesson with Ange today. Okay. How y'all doing? Yeah, that's why you can look up, Monique, you can just like Google empath. You can, it's an HSP, less than 20% of the population, highly sensitive people. And it, like I said, doesn't mean it's just you're special. You feel things on a deeper level. You have a knowing, and you just might have undeveloped clairs that you don't even know you have yet, especially as the axis shifts into Pisces in January. We're going to be seeing a lot of people understanding what this is all about, and they're going to be going, wow, I didn't even know that I could choose to go there. So I thought what we do, our title today is I'm a little bit hurt, but I'm a lot more free, which for me is that achievement and greatness. Again, this is on my notes for today, posted down below. And then the tension and extremes. Okay. Sometimes we have to be pushed. Squares are all about change through challenge. So, what I thought we would do once you find kind of where those life areas, the houses are that they're affecting you for, we're going to use my little orange stone here for Aries. I'm going to put that at my 9 o'clock position. I'm going to use a blue stone. All your water signs, if you have a chart by me, are in blue ink. So I'm going to put that down here. And then we're going to have a green stone for that axis on the opposite side of Cancer, which is going to be Capricorn. And then opposite our fire, we're going to have purple. All the areas that are color coded purple in your chart are your air houses. Okay, so what we're going to do is ask questions here about each of these placements for you. Now, everybody's going to have Aries in a different part of their chart, right? So that's the whole point of making the sticky note, just so you can see this is going to be advice for that life area, wherever that corner ends for you. It can also be firing up the fire parts of your chart, right? So that's why I think, I hope a lot more readers are going the route of we're not chopped up into signs. We have all the signs in our house and in our bodies. Even if there's no planets there, that just means that in particular this lifetime, we have already checked the box. Our soul is like, okay, this lifetime, that lesson's not so important. So it doesn't mean you don't have any Aries if your Aries house doesn't have any planets in it. So when, you can watch a whole signs, like when Dawn does her whole signs every Friday, you can sit there with your chart and I can watch and go, okay, she's starting at Aries. That's going to be in my 9th house and it squeezes over into my 10th. So I'm going to apply the advice given for those cards okay, into those life areas. So I can take advice from around the whole thing. I'm not just going, where are my timestamps? I want to jump right to my sign because that's just not how energy works. That makes sense. Does that make sense? Did I explain that okay? It's just not how energy works. So we're gonna bring everybody into into the correct information here and in this new portal of growth. Okay, so in our Aries house, I'm considering that because that is Mars. Mars rules the sign of Aries, and that's planet of war. Okay, so but it's also the planet of action. So I'm going to call the war house the hurt side. Okay. I'm a little bit hurt, but I'm a lot more free because oppositions, okay, this is an axis. This is where the opposition is. These actually help each other. Okay. But then what happens here? Do we see this 90 degrees of each chunk of each second of each section? Those are squares. Okay. Those are going to be the ones causing tension with each other. We had a full moon in Aries opposing the Libra energy. And remember, this is also North Node, South Node. Okay. So that's a lot of freaking energy. In addition to that, once every 2 years, we will get a Mars and a Pluto opposition. They're helping each other. I'm a little bit hurt. Okay. So we're going to call that Mars in Cancer right now, but I'm a lot more free. Pluto is all about the soul. So the little circle with it looks like a big U-shaped collar underneath the circle. So it looks like a man with maybe a big collar on. That is your Pluto. And wherever that is in your chart, that's your soul right there. Then if you look in the opposing house to, so let's say my Pluto's in Capricorn, I'm going to look directly opposite of that house in that life area, and that's my growth. This is my growth development from birth, and this is where my soul wants to grow towards in that house. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay. So Mars, and the funny thing too, they're in each other's houses. Excuse me, in each other's signs. So Mars rules Aries, the moon rules Cancer, except we got the moon in Aries and Mars in Cancer. So that is called a mutual reception. It's like, okay, I can go stay at your house and you can go stay in mine. Isn't there a movie like that where they each go on vacation and it's like, what's her name? Um, you know what I'm talking about? And then it's like, oopsie, they end up falling in love, but they each stay at the other place. I forget what that's called. That's going to drive me nuts. But anywho, let's keep it going. Yeah, do you know what it's called? Oh, what is that? It's with Charlie's Angels chick, the blonde, Diaz, what is it? The question is, what was the movie where the chickies swapped? Like one wanted to go on vacation, one wanted to get away from a boyfriend, like an ex, and get out of town, and they ended up being in each other's house. Yes, thank you. Carmen Diaz was in it, and the English chick. But anyway, it's like that. They house swapped. They're in each other's areas, and it's like Mars is like, "What are you doing? What are you doing, Moon? That's Mars is my house." And Mars is like, Moon is like, "What are you doing, Mars? You're in my spot." So they're not in their comfortable places here either. Not certainly not at home, but they've done like a little parent trap swap, the twins. Okay. Was that called the Parent Trap? That old movie, or the twins switched? I don't know. I'm going everywhere. Back to the subject. Little bit hurt, but I'm a lot more free. Okay, let's get our advice cards for each of these. Anybody do anything fun? This is it called the holiday, maybe, or something like that? Somebody use the Googles. Help us out there. So, where are we a little bit hurt there in that Aries part of our chart, wherever that is in your zodiacal wheel there? Find that Aries section. I'll get the color coded orange if I did it. What I do, guys, I synthesize information and I try to make your chart less confusing for you so that you have something to pick up and grab. And anytime I'm doing kind of astrology talk, you can look right at it with me and see what energies are kind of competing, what energies are getting along, which life areas are helping each other, and which life areas are competing with each other. It's very, 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 very helpful, very informative. All the cardinal signs, whew, especially these last couple years, because we had those eclipse series back and forth between Aries and Libra. And then we also have, of course, the nodes of fate and destiny, where we're supposed to learn independence and autonomy within dependence and autonomy within committed partnerships. And towers would happen in the Aries part of our chart if we've been to me, my. And towers could happen in the Libra part of our chart if we have codependency, where we're overgiving. That can be in work, that can be in our home life, that can be, solo energy. It just depends where it is for you. So the goal of the nodal axis every 18 months for entirety of humanity is to get to that middle point and find the balance of the axes, the fulcrum, if you will, the middle of the teeter totter. And if we don't do it on our own, then we get those little life towers to help push us along. So, where are we a little bit hurt? Skunk spirit. Now, ain't that funny? That is a 54 energy and it's a 9. So we are a lot more free on this other side. Okay. That's going to be the bottom of my deck. Koi fish spirit. So in our Aries part of our chart, this is skunk spirit. She's sitting on a day. It's either a daisy or a sunflower. We'll have to look. But again, that number is 54. You could even be 54. And this says know your worth. Okay. But I'm a lot more free on this opposition side. Okay. I'm a little bit hurt, but a lot more free. We learn the lesson. We transmute the energy and turn pain into wisdom. This is a 36, which is also a 9. 99. We got 99 problems, but this ain't one of them anymore because now we're a lot more free. We get it. We have our aha moment. It is the square of achieving greatness through opposition and challenge. Not so fun, not the best way. It's like I don't prefer learning that way, but that's what the cosmos are offering us up here. This koi fish spirit is saying there is always enough. So that would be the opposite of the Five of Pentacles, which would be a lack mentality. At the full moon, we want to have gratitude. It's really important. It's dissipating. Usually 3 days is kind of pushing it, but because of this cardinal grand square, we got about another 10 days of that energy because those are strong planet positions. Okay. There is always enough. 99. That's pretty incredible. I'm a little bit hurt, so I am going to read for us the skunk side of that coin, which in this book, I believe Colette Baron Reed calls it the protection message. So let's read the protection message. And not everyone will appreciate you. Many people have issues of their own to address, and you may trigger something in them. But if so, no matter. Skunk Spirit calls you to be fully yourself without apology. Now is a time for honesty and admitting that something does not sit right for you. Where were you hurt that you learned a big aha moment about? Okay. Wasn't a fun way to learn it. And but now you've turned it and transmuted that pain into knowledge. Okay. You deserve the self respect that comes when you courageously choose to stand up for yourself and speak your truth in love. Remember who you are and what really matters to you and act with integrity. You will be so glad you did it. This for me is feeling with this a little bit hurt in that planet of war. It's like, even if you did stand up for yourself, somebody had a problem with it. Somebody didn't like it too much. And do you ever notice those are usually the somebodies that is no longer getting from us what they used to get from us? And they're not mad at you, they're mad because you're not overgiving anymore, if that makes sense. You are slowing their roll because you exhausted yourself to help them. And that was the lesson. We hurt. Yeah, I'm a little bit hurt because I did it to myself. I was overgiving of my energy. And then they want to come and say something about it and put me down. But that's projection, right? They're putting you down because you're not doing for them. Does that make sense? Okay. You with me so far? We're just flying by the seat of our pants here today. I just thought of this idea, so we'll see how we go. Now we got 99. That is crazy to me. So 36, which is 18, which is the energy of the moon. Holy shiitake mushrooms. I can't even make that crap up, right? There's always enough, but you're a lot more free. So we're going to read the light message. Oh, the synchronicities you see. That's the one of the good gifts of ADHD. You see the synchronicities and everything. It was so sweet. Marcia said, a holistic synthesizer. And I was like, yeah, we're taking the whole and bringing it into parts, kind of like how I do for you for your chart. So our message for there is always enough. The koi fish who grows big within a small pond reminds us that within each of us is the potential for prosperity. The law of abundance ensures that prosperity is our natural state. So, regardless of temporary outer conditions, you can call in prosperity and magnetically attract the opportunities and abundance you need. Portal keeper much? You're feeling the niggle. You just start trusting it instead of letting it pass by as just a passing thought. The message of koi fish spirit is to begin to generate wealth within with deliberate intention, no matter how small your pond may seem, and appreciate abundance wherever you see it. Gratitude on the full moon is really important, as is the forgiveness piece. Outer conditions will come to reflect your inner prosperity. I've been talking about that forever. It's just physics. Our natural magnetism, when we take care of inside the house, everything, our energy pushes out like we're all walking around with big fish bowls. And when other people come into your fishbowl, now you have to alchemize that energy. It has to blend together. The more sensitive person is taken on more of that energy. You're more aware of it. You know what the difference of energies feels like. So be careful who you let in your fishbowl. And if you're no longer letting someone in your fishbowl, or you're just not always giving them your clean water and being like, here, let me help you out. And then the minute you stop doing that, they hurt you, they lash back. Okay. So keep it like, don't just stand your ground, keep those boundaries. Even if at the moment it feels as if riches are not yours, soon they will be. Start to envision the plenty that spirit wants you to experience, knowing that the moment you begin to commit to conscious and deliberate co creating, spirit will joyfully start bringing you what you need. Now, when we started, I have a clean slate now for our next moon cycle. So we can pull those on the spiritual view, I hope tomorrow. The very first card from the Pisces fish, new moon, bottom of the coaster, was um, co-creation. It was communication, co-creation. That was the start. And this is the top of the coaster. That was the start of the ride. South Node Libra, moving towards that full moon. That's pretty incredible coincidence, you guys. Just saying. You have so much to offer and so much of value to express to the world. In your little pond, there is much you can create and much you can attract. Do not underestimate what you have and who you are. For Koi Fish Spirit wants you to know that you are exquisite, loved, and deeply cherished. Trust that outer conditions are changing to reflect that truth. And boy, are they. We're moving with Pluto out of Capricorn, okay? And he's shifting into the next sign of Aquarius for the next 20 years. So that's going to be quite the change. We're moving from the cardinal signs into the fixed. So whenever we have any squares come up there, we're also going to have, instead of Pluto Mars opposition that happens every 2 years, those will now be in the fixed signs. Okay, so that'll happen with Pluto in Aquarius, and that means that Mars is going to be in Leo energy. So that'll happen, right? So it's a change of energies all around, more action, more doing. So let's pull some cards here. I'm going to use my fire deck for Fire Aries, Know Your Worth. And we were talking here about I'm a little bit hurt, but this is because someone's not getting what they used to get from you. Let's just see what want to come out. Okay. What I say, you're not giving as much as you were before, right? They're like sitting there with their hand out. Okay, that might just be someone younger, but they want what you got. Okay, they want what you got, what you want. Baby, I got. Now, this could be in a home situation as well, where you are like, you are 24 years old. I love you, but you're doing your own damn laundry. And that could even be to a spouse. So if it's not a child, just within the home, you're like, why? I'm working full time. Also, why am I taking the lion's share just because I'm the mom? Or you know what I mean? It's like you're redistributing roles within the home. There's a little house back there, and there's the chariot on his side. Now, I tend to go in clockwise fashion. So if the head is to the right, then that will be a reverse chariot. If the head is to the left, I'm going to keep turning upright to read that in the upright. So in shadow, this is like somebody flying off the handle here with their emotions. It's Cancerian energy there. If you can see the widow quabs there on the chariot, that can also be jumping in the car and taking off without a direction. They're just coming at you to complain and be like, I'm here for my normal handout that you've also always just given me and I haven't had to ask. And you're like, well, I know my worth now and I know how I can divide my time better, and I'm exhausted and I need help, and I need y'all to pick up your portion of living in this household. Okay. Of if it's single parent, it was my mom and three girls, and we just all had to all have to pitch in. And especially when it's 10 years between siblings, guess who is the built-in babysitter, aka mom, aka shopper. Like, we all do all the things. Okay, those gender divided roles are just not It's just not going to be a thing. It's going to be more equally balanced and fair. So it feels like here with this chariot on the side, it's like I've just flown off at the handle, and I said that already here. It felt like someone is getting upset with you, especially if it's in that Aries part of your chart. Could be at work. Okay, people working together here on some kind of a team. It's just because they got something to say now that they're not getting what they want. Point blank, period. He's got his hand out and they're flying off with their emotions. Emotions do, we're running very high also on that Aries full moon. And it is also kind of the completion or the reaping of that seed that was planted in April at the new moon in Aries. So 6 months ago, if you can look back at your journal and look at what was coming in new for you, especially in the life area of Aries in your chart. Now, the seed, this is coming to fruition. And the result of that seed that was planted is self esteem. You standing up for yourself, you're putting boundaries. You don't care what they have to say, how fast they have to say it, or how nasty they have to say it, because you're deflecting the energy off. You know how to protect yourself now. You know how to surround your own fishbowl of frequency in a golden ray of protection. And every day before you leave, you walk out that portal gateway, you're saying, may any energies that are not for my best and highest good reflect and be returned to sender. Ain't gonna have it. No more. I'm protecting me because I'm worth it. Okay. And that's also going to make for a happier home, point blank, period. If mama ain't happy, nobody happy anyway. So get happy, mamas. And if you're a boy mama, because you're a single dad, same thing. You're not here if you're not a divine masculine energy that doesn't understand the art of surrender, that doesn't understand the art of allowing. Okay. It's not trying to force issues or force bridges or force change or have the biggest one is the expectation of outcome. Right. That's probably the hardest thing to cross for most of us, I would think. On the bottom of the deck, we'll go for three here, opposing energies. I see it. I want it. It's mine. There's always enough. Go get you yours. Okay. So this pond could be expanding more child energy here, which is really cool because we've got fire now opposing earth over here and water. They've kind of done this little swappy do because we have the earth of the skunk and we have the water energy of the fish. And then we've got fire, fire, earth, water, water. Okay, so this is throwing caution to the wind. It feels like this is finding your voice. And over here, like I was saying, you're like, I'm just going to try it out. I see it. I want it. It's mine. Throw caution to the wind and just do it. You may get this like, oh my God, like you may shock the crap out of this person that you actually stood up for yourself, especially if you haven't done it before or if you've never had something to say. Maybe it was kind of like an eye roll and a like, I felt like I had to do it, but not anymore. Not anymore, because coming out of that south node axis, we are not going back to old patterns, guys. This is about leaving codependency behind, because remember, you got to come to the middle point, or else you're going to get that tower in that Libra end of your axis, wherever that points to in your chart. Okay. We have to come back into balance and understand what we can and can't do honestly, and not be afraid to speak that truth, because it's going to be detrimental, especially if you are an HSP. Okay. Let's keep going here with our third. I want to put one more down here. So here is this offer that they're expecting of you. And it's like from going from a boy to a knight. By doing that, you're getting that person to come more into the middle and be more independent and do for themselves as well. If it is a 24-year-old being like, hey, here's my laundry, do your own damn laundry. You are 24. Yeah, do your own shopping. Here's what you owe me for the bills. Here's the real life of what it costs to uh, pay for electric, pay for a mortgage, pay for groceries. It's not them just living there. It is hard times, and I get that. But crying, I mean, I moved out at 17, so I don't have a lot of sympathy for kids that are adult kids living at home. Shit happens. I get that. But okay, I love you, but you got 6 months. And let's make a plan. I'll help you, but you're 24 years old. Okay. Or older, whatever that is. On that show we were laughing about the other week with Love is Blind, he was 28. And grant you, I was like, I would want his mom to adopt me. She was lovely. Did all the cooking, did everything, had his own basically entire apartment in the lower level, but he only paid for his car and his insurance at 28. That is not the real world. You are hobbling that child. And clearly the girl was not having it because she's like, you don't know how to do life. And they don't. We think we're helping, but it ends up crushing them. They go to college and they are destroyed by a bad grade or about not succeeding because um in those generations everybody got a trophy. And that's just not how the world works. Okay. So I think that's changing here. And here with this koi fish, there is always enough, especially when you try new things, throw caution to the wind, and you go, you know what? I see it, I want it, it's mine. And even if that is I talk about my record stand that was $15 at an estate sale, and I repurposed it, and it's a gorgeous, if I don't say so myself, record stand that holds a good 60, 70 albums in it. So 15 bucks. You're learning how to do that. That's my little pond, and I'm making it bigger. There's always enough. We have gratitude for that. And when we do that, even though we slow, Daddy Saddy can come along and be like, here's your gifty. Here's your gifty. Let's move into our Capricorn Cancer axis. So before I move over there, on your sticky note, what you'll notice too is that not only did you have the full moon, but you had the north node of destiny there at 5 degrees, and also Chiron, the wounded healer. So there's a lot of healing here. It's saying around self-worth according to the energy of the cards, wherever that is pointing for you in your own personal birth chart. So that is beautiful healing energy, moving towards that goal of independence with the north node in Aries, and also Chiron offering healing there in that same place. Opposing that, of course, south node, same degree, 5 degrees. Also, Juno was there, which is Howie relationship. And this is definitely taking more, even if it's slow, you're saying, these are the changes I want. This is my boundary. This is what my expectation is. And even if it's coming slow, that's cool. But I expect to see incremental changes because I know my worth, and I'm not putting up with less. I'm no longer doing more than my share. It's equal. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Coming up into our lovely Pluto through mid-November, that in your chart is going to show you for the last since 2008, where this overall big change is happening. So this is again our axis. It's half of the 360. So an axis is your 180 flip. Okay. I always say, oh, Lilith is over here too. So flipping the tables, right? If you felt like you were just a little page before, you're like, no, I learned my self-worth and independence. I know I'm a king, and this is what I demand. I'm getting an ear squeezy on that one. You growed up in what you've been asking for and how you ask for it. And even if it's slow, that's cool. But your boundaries are there, and you're not accepting this business over giving anymore. All right, let's look at what Pluto has for us here in the animal decks. So here our Pluto is going to be where I'm a lot more free because this is the soul. We're at the 29th degree. It's the anaretic degree. It's the end. And as soon as we get to 29 degrees, 59 minutes, it clicks over into 0 degrees Aquarius, and it's a whole new world for 20 years. It's going to be 20 years of a slow incremental 180. Does that make sense? We're doing a lot more learning here today than joking around, but I'm trying to keep it light. I think learning is fun, and if you stop learning, you stop living. As far as I'm concerned, I like to learn something new every single day. Okay, so in our soul energy, we're a lot more free. Didn't I say at the beginning this and that are true? We're not seeing things as such black and white. It's not this or that. It's this and that. Look what that says. This and that are true. It's the number 20, which is, let's see, we've got an 11 energy today because our numbers add up to 38 for 10/20/2024. It was in reverse, so we will read the protection message. And we're coming to the end of the 2008 till now, wherever Capricorn. So, guys, it's taken 16 years for Pluto to move this much around the whole. This is 360 degrees. It took since 2008 for Pluto to go from the beginning of his green energy to the end of his green energy. That's a long time. In your chart, if I made one for you, or just look for Aquarius, if you have a printed one, it's going to be 20 years in just that piece of the pie. Okay. This and that are true was in protection message. And then we have time to collaborate with Ant. And look at that. The pieces of the puzzle today is the 20th. That's the judgment call. This is the time. I mean, this is the point in the energy when Pluto goes, are you sure? Did you learn what you needed to learn in that little chunk of pie in your zodiacal wheel? Okay, this is time to collaborate. There's a little nugget of truth in there, right in the center of the card. And it reminds me of the temperance energy because in relationship, this is our soul energy. We found little pieces, puzzle pieces of our soul the last 16 years. We've had aha moments. We've done shadow work. We have done a lot of healing around father energy. Capricorn is father. Now, when it's in detriment, especially when it's opposing Mars, it's kind of like the Dark Lord, the Dark Father, right? Darth Vader energy. And now it's time to collaborate. So I feel like this and that are true. And we have time to collaborate here. And if we are still kind of in that Two of Pentacles, funny, not funny, the second column of our new moon to full moon energy was two sets of dolphins. It was alignment and I think enlightenment, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look that up, but they both were two separate cards that had two dolphins in each of the cards for that same week of energy. I think that's when we hit first quarter moon. So this will be interesting to see what Pluto's got here for us. All right, this and that are true. I don't think I've seen the protection message of that one. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so surprised. I was like, everybody's busy at this time, but I'm random. So thank you for bearing with me. Um, Dolphin spirit, like her earthly manifestation, is a reminder of duality. But we're going to read the protection message for it. Sorry about that. I lost it. Okay. When you most want to be acknowledged as finger quotes right and see other ways as wrong, finger quotes, dolphin spirit appears as a reminder that the story of our suffering and righteousness is a little more complicated than we're admitting right now. Do we want to see things in black and white and be rigid in your ideas of what's correct and what is not? Release rigidity and embrace fluidity of life as we recognize the grays that remind us there are two sides to every story, an upside to each downside, and a blessing in every challenge. What you think is wrong may end up being right for you. So let dolphin spirit soften your heart so that you make the best decision at this time, playing with the possibilities that present themselves. So that is our freedom part of the chart. I'm a little bit hurt with this Mars in my home energy that rules the moon and the fourth house of home, foundations, and family, mother, father. So maybe we can see from a different perspective here if we've always felt a certain kind of way about that father energy, whether there was one available or not. There's always that energy. It could be a grandparent, it could be a coach, it could be a teacher, it could be, an uncle, any mentor that takes over that role. It can be a female father. We are in the 21st century, for crying out loud. There that those gender roles are just, it's not 19 freaking 50. Get over it. Father, dark fathers that think they can control the world. No. We are seeing now that we cannot be that way because that's what got us here. Right? So now it's like we've been talking about moms like, I'm driving now, scooch over. But we had that in reverse for protection. And the upright was ant spirit, time to collaborate. Maybe that person disappeared because of their own trauma. That obviously they didn't get the love and support they needed to be able to offer it to someone else. You can't give what you don't have. You can't teach what you haven't learned. Can we, on that full moon of needing to remember what we're grateful for, literally making a list, and I joke, I don't even care if it's strawberry ice cream or cinnamon Pop Tarts, write it down. It doesn't matter because if it makes you feel good, the universe feels the energy you're generating. Okay. So if it truly makes you happy, if it's roses, if it's my $10 arrangement that I picked up and I thought was overpriced at Kroger, Trader Joe's has much better deals on flowers. But now I think they're beautiful because I'm like, it's so cute. Okay. I'm happy now. It's, 4 days of bringing me pleasure. So that's worth it. So that full moon energy is also about forgiveness. Can we see that there wasn't a black and white? They're not the a-hole that just took off to do X, Y, and Z. They were also a hurt human that was flawed. Time to collaborate. So it's kind of like stepping in between here that Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay, time to start walking a different walk and talking a different talk. All right, ant spirit. Time to collaborate those puzzle pieces to find our own peace, temperance energy. When ant spirit comes to visit, it's to celebrate the benefits of working in a partnership with others as part of a community or tribe. Hi, tribe. Spirit reminds us that to build our dreams, we need to work with others, accept help, and trust in your most important partnerships, the one you have with spirit. Co-create. Your intentions will come to fruition if you remain awake and focused and co-creating your reality with others and with spirit. Remember that the world around us can easily seduce us if we don't have some sort of practice or discipline, like meditation, to keep us on track as we build the life we desire. Connecting with others and having accountability partners can be very helpful, as it's unlikely that everyone will fall asleep at the same time. The other message Ant Spirit holds is that you are now at an auspicious time to ask for help and receive it. Portal Keeper. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand more how energy and physics works. You understand that there's a physical place inside of the center of your brain that stores all your lifetimes of memories and lessons, and we can access it. We know that now, right? Mind blowing, but amazingly true. Whether we need help assembling a team, finding a new tribe, or requesting assistance from others who are there, everything is working to support you right now. Okay, especially when we see that this and that are true. If we find ourselves at odds about a person, a situation that happened to us, coming in, we've always been like, this is why. But now when we collaborate with spirit and we collaborate with each other, sharing knowledge, you're welcoming in everybody that comes in new just with your comments. You're filling our energetic fishbowl. You're affecting this reading. You're affecting what comes out in the cards because it's your energy coming into my fishbowl, if that makes sense. So thank you. I hit a milestone today, by the way. 350. That's a quarter of the way. I know. A quarter. I'm blown away. A quarter of the way to monetization, where I can start doing extendeds and more personal things and groups and teams. I have a ton of ideas, and I'm a little over halfway there as far as watchable hours. So it means the ones that are watching, they're a smaller group, but they're watching. They're watching the things. So maybe I don't ask enough to share the channel. I can start doing that. I just forget. I'm just, I'm focused on this. But I did just want to say that and say thank you, because I'm going to be doing special things for those first quarters of people, because it's going to be considered my OGs. You're here from the ground level up. And I'll stop talking or else I'll cry. So let's pull our cards. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I think it's amazing. All right, Capricorn. Well, celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on, time to collaborate much. That's literally getting together with friends and having a good time. And look, there's pumpkins. I love it. I love it. It's like, yep, we understand we're co-creating. We're finding these little nuggies. We're finding these puzzle pieces about our own psyche together. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be, traditional. Every week I go and spill my guts out, and am I getting help that I need or not, or we're not sure. I just feel like us being all together and talking about shit is so helpful. It just does. We get it off our chest. Y'all are helping each other. And cheers to you. I wish I had a margarita or a bloody so I could cheers you all. But this is so on point, and we've got the collaboration. It's time to collaborate. I feel like this is celebrating you no longer seeing things in black or white, understanding that people are very complex, and if we don't know what the story was about someone who hurt us, we don't have to fill in the details like as a villain and simply go, I was hurt because that person was hurt. Hurt people hurt people. And unfortunately, that can last with us a lifetime if we don't look at it and confront it and go, yeah, that did hurt. And subconsciously in my relationships, I've been attracting these same kind of energies because I didn't have yet the self-worth, because abandonment wound is huge, guys. It is a big, especially the last 16 years with that Pluto, the soul energy being in the house of the father. Like that's big. I mean, that's not easy energy to work through. And forgiveness on that full moon, I can't even say how important that is. Do the Ho'oponopono. Like, you feel wonderful after it. You feel amazing. And I feel like this is definitely a time to celebrate here. Book ending that, or on the bottom of the deck, rather. I'm keeping this up here. High Priestess are talking about soul, talking about the portal keeper stepping into this next piece, into Aquarius, this internal exploration. I mean, it's nuts. Do you see this? This is the way that you reconnect, that we stop being from this place of hurt, because hurt is a this or hurt is an or. Okay. And it's getting whacked in the head with one. That's why it hurts. You're supposed to be using that or to swim through the emotions of life and understand why we have the reactions and emotions that we have. There's a reason that we react to something in a way that isn't how we normally would, or it's in a way that is not level with the the intention meant. Like, hey mom, where's my XYZ, something you always do, where's my lunch? And you're going, lunch? Like, it would be off kilter, right? Nobody ever said I was going to make lunch for you, for it, like just flying off the handle. Just as an example, it's just something that doesn't match the offense. Okay. That's a nuggie. That is when we collaborate with ourselves and with each other and talk about things and go, you know what? I notice that when people talk over me or seem to be dismissive, or what I would feel as dismissive, universal wheeze here. I notice that that's a trigger for me, that I get out of balance, upset over what was said. That goes all the way back to that attachment wound, guys. Our generation, it was kids are to be seen and not heard. Go play over there. Bye. Go fend for yourself. We didn't have a say. So there's a lot of people with that wound about not being seen or heard because you literally weren't. So that's a wound of the psyche, just to give an example there. Just wow. Wow, wow, wow. And together, hello, Led Zeppelin. Led Zepp 4. This is on the front of the album, The Man Carrying the Heavy Burden of the 10 Wands. All of those lessons, all of that pain, all of that work turns into wisdom. It's what we were saying before Dane Carr was even late here. And this is the energy show. That's how energy works. We're just learning how to read energy and using cards to do it. That's all. And it's right here. This is the stairway to heaven. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean. We're cleaning out this codependency crap. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. Our pond is what we make it. We've got to clean things out of it. The fishbowl needs to get clean. If there's something that bothers us and gets in our craw, there's a reason. It's just we need to do the spring cleaning of our soul. Okay? That's it. And that's a good thing. Go. We can't have healthy fish bowls come toward us when we haven't filled our own with our own self-worth. We haven't done actions that feel good to our body. We've got to fill our own heart's cup so that what overflows, we understand that's what's given to others. Only once our own heart's cup is full and not one drop more, because I learned that by overgiving, that throws my life off balance. And that's not okay with me, not anymore, because I'm right on that fulcrum. I'm no longer swamping in one end of the energy. This is gorgeous. Today's astrology answers card of the day was Ace of Cups. Love coming in, message coming in, hope, healing. The lotus flower comes up from the mud and opens one petal at a time. Crossing energy here, canary spirit, sing your own song. Children were seen and not heard. Sing your own song. And didn't I say this reminds me of Lizzo? There's her flute. Did y'all know Lizzo plays the flute quite beautifully? Quite beautifully. I feel like I want to take a whole nother shuffle for this Cancer portion where this is the hurt because it's being crossed by the energy there, 20, 12, and 1. So that's why this is a 21. 12 is 12, 21. I'm seeing if I see where's she at with Brandy here? We always talk about 1221. That's a palindrome. It's a mirror. There's a reason I wanted to keep this energy up here. That's why. And that's what we were talking about, collaborating, understanding energy, figuring ish out. Sing our own song. Let's look at the power message of that. Beautiful. I love look at her little royal crown. And I even wrote a quote by Margaret Thatcher, which was the shadow side of this kind of grand cross energy. I'm extremely patient as long as I get my own way. Quite the idea, Margaret. But look, Margaret, look at the crown. It's hilarious. Sing your own song, but it doesn't hurt other people. That's where the father energy went wrong, right? That's where the Capricorn energy has gotten wonky with the top-down structures and the me, my, squaring that. This energy is all pinging off of each other, if that makes sense. That's why it's tough. It's why it's rough. Okay, they're all talking together. So 12, I just feel like I want us to hear that. Canary spirit arrives to help us find our authentic voice and express what is in our hearts. Free yourself to experience your inner light and let it shine as Canary Spirit sings to remind you of your inherent joy and to support you as you sing your own song. Now is the time to let the world know who you really are. Canary Spirit message is that you are free to be yourself and express yourself and your most cherished desires. The world wants to hear your song. If your inquiry is about a relationship, you're being called to fully be yourself. Ace of Cups coming in on the bottom of the deck. Just saying. You can make music with others, collaborate so beautifully when your note rings true. I knew those belonged together. I guess hopefully that's why you're here. A client in yoga today was telling me too, this is so funny, telling me about this pond he was building out back because they wanted to put some koi fish back there, and how a stump was right in the middle and he couldn't dig it up. And I go, you can just let it be a feature and build around it. And he goes, that was actually the rest of my story. He gave up trying to dig the roots out, and it literally became the water feature. I'm like, that's kind of what I do. Frog spirit there underneath that canary. All right, let's come back down to our story here so I can get you out of here. The Cancer and Mars. Not, it's kind of can be kind of a mommy dearest with that war planet in the house of the home and foundations and the mother energy. Well, I saw that in the book when I was turning the pages, 21 Dove Spirit, and I was like, oh, we already got our 21. But there her is, right there, right there. Dove Spirit, be peace. And Mommy Cancer is the war planet is in her house. So instead of Mommy Dearest, be peace. And look at that. Like, all my cards are in the upright. I always shuffle that way. One came out reverse, one came out upright. This time it's on the other 180 end of the axis, upright and reverse. Armadillo Spirit here is in reverse, setting healthy boundaries. Lovers. We already talked about the boundaries over here, right, to get to the middle. So if someone is causing war in your home, that's your home, right? That's your foundation. So we might just be new. It's a 3 energy. So we might be new at setting boundaries when we combine the 21 and the 12 energy. That's a 3. So that's right here. And then we have this additional 21. So in essence, 1, 2, 3, 4 threes, 4 corners of that cardinal grand square where our body, mind, and soul is coming into a trine and alignment. Okay. See what else flew out here. Crow spirit and rhino spirit. Again, one up, one down. Can't make it up. Nuts. Co-create with spirit. We're talking about that up here. Okay, so exciting. So Mars is in Cancer. We're going to be there a hot minute. We're going to move and then retrograde. So he's going to reverse his stick shift, run back through, I think back to, Dawn said 11 degrees of Cancer, put it in first gear again, and then we got to run back through the same ish. So co-creating with spirit here. Be peace 21. And I'll get you out of here. Thank you so much again for being here with me. I never expected, but I'm always delighted, nevertheless. With her peaceful cooing, the gentle dove spirit invites you to embrace the energy of peace and allow compassion to warm your heart. It's not this or that. They are a hurt human who hurt us, okay, for their own reasons, nothing to do with us. It doesn't make us less than, okay? Wow. These are you guys' energy on point today. Awesome. You always have the power to generate peace within you, and the appearance of dove spirit is a reminder that today and every day is a good day to meditate, to quiet any turbulence within as you embody tranquility. If your fishbowl is tranquility, that's the energy you're pushing out physics wise. That's the magnet that's going to be attracted in. Above, below, and all around you, much may be happening to distract you, but you are called to engage it with the heart of a peacemaker. Mars is war, and it's in Cancer. It's saying be peace. What would peace do? Can you agree to disagree? The peace you seek rises within and spreads out into the world as Spirit sends her messenger to remind you of the beauty of a harmonious existence with all that is. How beautiful and powerful is your compassionate heart? Certainly is. Y'all been so wonderful to me as me and my goofy self come out here, and I did not even want to put my face on. MJ was like, can do what you want, but with our tarot certification, she was like, you gotta connect with people. I'm like, I just want to be Angie Hands. I don't want to get nobody telling me how many wrinkles I has. I know how many. I know how old I am. I see me. So thank you for being so sweet and so kind. Go communicate with spirit much. These are the downloads coming towards the water, coming towards the emotions, communication. Can we agree to disagree? This is also a lot of passion coming at you. So remember that Mars is a planet of action too. So the light side of that war shadow is that it's action. I see it. I want it. It's mine kind of energy. Queen of Wands would be also representative of that Aries energy. Eight of Wands is going to be 8, 9, 10. That'll be mutable fire, which is Sagittarius. So we kind of got our own little trine of fire here going with this opposing new love energy. So very well, guys, if you've carried the load, you've collaborated, you have grown to see things are not this or that. People are just human and they F up. And yes, I was hurt, but I'm a grown ass person and I can manage my feelings. I'm not reacting out of my feelings. I'm responding because I get why that triggered me now. I get why I reacted to that. And if you can pause and breathe, even if you're like, "Oh," and you're about to say it, but then you catch yourself, please, right now, your own hand, give yourself a freaking pat on the back because that is not easy. It takes us away from our dreams. But understanding and seeing that, understanding and trusting your intuition, that's what it's there for, and not just doing things anyway because you feel obligated. No more. No more. Four of Pentacles. So this is holding back. And I feel like this is our reverse energy here. If we've been holding back on setting boundaries just because we've always done something a certain way or we've felt guilty, come back into this place of freedom. I was a little bit hurt, but I'm a lot more free, especially when my own fishbowl is full of peace. That's freedom. You can't make that up. It's getting these downloads, our psychic abilities with this new portal opening. It's all here. It's here. And the more at peace you are, the easier it is to hear these messages. And certainly if you've raised your vibration to the point of new love or renewal of love coming in, look at the extra dove. We have a dove at this 180 on each side, balancing out towards the middle. And it's beautiful. Let's see what you're holding back on here. This is an interesting card too. He's sitting on the sacral chakra color of orange, and that's sitting on your creativity. When we hoard or when we're in an energy of lack or like I gotta protect, right? Not co-creating, okay? Having fear. Fear takes all of the sacral energy and it literally tamps out our creativity. Our creativity lives in the sacral chakra. Our passion, how we create babies is in the sacral chakra. Everything we make, the Empress part of our energy, giving and knowing how to receive. Okay, so armadillo spirit in reverse of setting healthy boundaries. Let's see what armadillo has to say. He a rock star here, which we just had our message. I'm just saying that because he's got ear cuffs all up. He's a cool armadillo. All right. Setting healthy boundaries, protection message. Look how he's like hugging around that pentacle. Energy has to flow, it has to move. And yes, there are ishy things out there, but we can't stay into the point of where we're not sharing and celebrating. Okay. Let's see. This is a tricky time as you may find yourself enmeshed with others, overly concerned with how they will take it if you say no or express how you really feel. Do you feel anxious saying no to someone? So you let's split up here. Capitulate, CAPITULATE. Capitulate, I know lots of words. I don't know that word. Capitulate? Someone put it in phonetically for me and break that down in phonics for me, please. Okay. I'll try to think of a synonym if I can even say it. You so you weird word, even knowing the outcome will not be in your best interest. Do you feel like it's your job to stop someone from facing their challenges? We talked about that when we were joking about, Mom, here's my laundry. Do it yourself. You're 24 and it's right here. That's keeping them from their challenges. It hobbles them of being able to do things for themselves. Instead, you might take on their responsibilities, rescuing them instead of giving them the freedom to learn their lessons their way. That's crazy. Perhaps you feel that if they only knew how much you cared, they would change and then all would be well. Armadillo spirit asks us to be honest with ourselves and others, no matter how difficult that may be, or how much you may fear losing someone or something. Face your fear, tell the truth, and set your boundaries. That's what the whole reading's really about today. It starts with the self esteem, and we came all the way around in our Cardinal Grand Cross from that first part of our message. Armadillo spirit. Oh, wait, sorry. You will be amazed at the miracles that happen when you let Armadillo spirit protect you from taking on too much, becoming a people pleaser, South Node, and losing your integrity. Another message of protection from Armadillo spirit is to relax, live, and let live. It's not this or that, it's this and that. If you or someone else is being defensive, you are called to step back and trust in Spirit's plan. They react because they're not getting from you what they expect to get, because we're growing up. We're protecting our energy. We're not oversharing from our fishbowl. We're saying, you do the work and clean up your own fishbowl. And then when yours is cleaned up, then you can come match my cleaned fishbowl. Eh? That's how that works. And then you're not overdoing all the work of now cleaning yours and theirs. Nah. Old way, new way. Love it. So that's kind of like holding on to this last little bit of wanting to overgive or wanting to please, like, oh, it's just laundry. It's not the point. It's not the point. We had empty house years ago, so had empty nest for a long time now, and it was weird. It was weird. I thought we were like going to be like, well, party time, and it's like now it's just more sleep, and it's like it was at first like it is way too quiet. Don't I have to drive somebody somewhere? Don't I have to go get double the food that we normally buy? Crossing energy is Fast Knight of Swords here. So slow with the Hermit. 10 of Wands, putting down the burdens, celebration. This is fast energy crossed by fast energy. Being peace. It feels like if we can just let this last little bit, we just can't help ourselves. And I know you love them, but think of it in a way of, if I overgive to you, then I'm kind of taken away, like Armadillo said, I'm taking away your ability to see how great you are and all that you can do. And that's just our natural heart to want to give and cuddle and do for them. It's like, you know what? You knew the project was 2 weeks ago and it was going to be due tomorrow. I'm not taking you to Kroger's and getting you your stuff. You're going to make do with what we have at the house because that was your responsibility to plan out and do. This is a middle schooler. They are quite capable. But you know how many of them wait until last minute to do that? My ass effed around and found out when I was 10, and guess who got their first bad grade? I had to suffer the consequences. Never did it again because my mom said no. It's your responsibility. Just saying that for anybody that needs some reassurance that it will be okay if you say no. You don't have to feel bad. Once we do this little, I feel like this is like the last little piece, that forgiveness, okay, that gratitude of all we have grown. Please write out your list of all the ways in which you yourself have evolved since 2008. And if it makes it easier and you know where that sits, that green chunk of that Capricorn energy in your chart, whether that's between two life areas or if you're in whole house, that would just be one life area. Give yourself some credit, because by having that gratitude, these messages are going to come flying in. You're going to be able to sing like a canary soon here. So like I said, the squares demand our change and our growth, especially with Pluto in opposition to Capricorn or opposition to Mars. It's like it's going to happen through challenges, but the benefit, the other side of the balance energy of that swamp, okay, and a square is two trines or two triangles put together and it forms a square. The two sides make a square. The trining energy of body, mind, and spirit. 6, 3 on each side. This is where that energy portion of this is the last trine, all the threes. Remember, this is that last little puzzle piece that will help get you into the middle of this fulcrum. Okay. And even if we don't want to, even if like just stop yourself and remember, you're not loving them by codependency. We are then taking that experience of them seeing how great they can be all on their own. We're giving the tools. You're teaching them how to fish. You're not just fishing for them, so they always expect it. Put those boundaries up. They're going to survive if you say no. And if this is a grown ass person, that's a whole nother reading. It's a whole nother reading. I think you're doing you. You're in that era. We're ready to get into the achievement and greatness of this. And I see that everywhere. This is very synchronistic. It's beautiful. You can look up the 17 of the co-creating with spirit of the crow, and the protection message of the overcoming obstacles, the 50. That was in reverse, is stepping through into this portal energy and understanding the upgrades that you absolutely have, especially if you're a highly sensitive person. That is a compliment to your well-being. It's not It's not a crutch. It's not to your detriment. We just have to know how to manage it. Okay. All right, guys, that was a long one, but you're worth it. And I felt like it was a little bit of a celebration energy here too. Little bit of a victory march, even if they come in hot. You're just be like, oh, the more times you say it, the more confident that you get. I understand that I used to do that for you, but I need to schedule more me time now, so I don't have time for that anymore. But I love you still. Not over giving. Thank you guys so much. I want to scroll through here and say hi to y'all if you're still here. Wow, thank you guys so much. You're so sweet. Miss Larissa, Miss Josie, Miss Monique, Miss Jonna, Miss Larissa. I didn't get to see you in your dreaming. You dreamt you found a portal. Stop it. That's crazy. Aw, thanks, AD. I'm like, I got last night's makeup on because I get up and go teach an hour and a half of yoga, but thank you. Very sweet. Black Mood Lila's my best friend. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so, so sweet. So sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Aqua Jen. And we've got, I'm trying to see if I have any new names coming in today. Make sure I say hi, Miss Monique, Miss Nova Star. Brandy was here. You'll have to go back. I didn't know if you heard the part I was talking about. The 1221 is here, girl. 1221, Brent. You're gonna, yeah, it was crazy. Thank you guys for being here again. I'm making sure I didn't miss anybody that was adding to the comments because, again, you're creating our fishbowl of energy here. And boy, did you come through for me today with the energy of these messages. I thought it was gorgeous, but I get to be the one that feels it. So I hope you get to feel that coming through me too. Miss Peggy, didn't get to see ya. Hi guys. Miss Joe's Phoenix. I think that is a new name. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. Phoenix, the fire angel. That is beautiful. Definitely, we had that energy of where'd she go? Of our lotus. I always compare the lotus flower to Phoenix energy rising up. And there's that little lotus as well of that internal explorer. And we've got that 180 flip. And we had our 5 and our 5, which is a 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. Guys, this last little thing is what changes the flip into your favor for that Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Okay, that's going to be me. I'm going to actually go clean myself up now and try to put a little color on. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that little mini lesson ended up kind of being a bigger lesson, but I hope that makes sense for you of how to use your arts and crafts connected to my grandma always called it that, how to connect yourself to where to put that square in your chart, like physically on the screen, so that you can see what 4 houses are squaring each other that are causing tension and challenges, but will then offer that achievement and greatness. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that helped you today. I love you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock on our morning, The Spiritual View, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll see you then. Bye, guys.